So let's switch the layout. Let's also do a couple things before I get started. So I just wanna address a few things, right? Let's get the room filled up for a second. I wanna give a big shout out to Apple, right? Also Venti and also different technologies. But I wanna address a few things. I have to do my due diligence and research. So if we're all trying to live our lives, right? If we're all trying to drink water, if we're all trying to eat food, if we're all trying to mind our own business, right? We're wanting to, stay peaceful, loving, and happy. So if we're all wanting to, you know, work, provide for our families, and stay peaceful. Big shout out to Martin Luther King Day today. We're rocking black on black. Black on black with it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tune in, hit my line, hit my cell phone. So, everybody wants to stay peaceful, everybody wants to stay loving. The Wish You Were Mine album is out now, right? But I've been getting a lot of interesting comments on my Facebook. Like, you okay, you alright, you good, are we good? So it's Martin Luther King Day, right? A lot of people had to have dreams, had to become innovative, had to make sacrifices, especially people of different colors, right? We don't take that into business professionalism, right? We love everybody. It's peace, love, and happiness. But if I'm minding my own business, right, working, and everybody's getting paid, right? We all go to work. We all get paid at work. Why would I not get my paycheck? So a lot of people work overtime on different days, right? I was on the news. I did the song Hustler. So I put in a lot of overtime, a lot of work. So if I went to work and everybody else got paid, I did all of this work. Why would I not be able to get paid? Why would I not be able to use the restroom? And why would I not be able to drink water? So a lot of people been saying like, Jay, where you been? Jay, what's going on? Wow. What if I paid you, right? I paid you more than a lot of individuals. And instead of you minding your own business, if I once worked with you, right? Why would you then pass the line of scrimmage? So if the coach paid you to be in a game, right? If there's out of bounds, out of line, or a line of scrimmage, he paid you to be in the game, why would you then, what, technical foul, flagrant foul, pass interference, torturous interference? So if I pay people to mind their own business, right? If I work with you, right? So this is somebody who is a business professional that I sometimes help them. If I help you, why would you try to hurt me? put in work at work, right? Why would you not try to pay me and then why would you try to hurt me? This is any day of the week. This is not only Martin Luther King Day, bro. This is every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We already know Friday is city popping. But if I went to work, right? Why would you try to hold water back from me, hold food back from me, right? Not let me use the bathroom and then try to hurt me. So look what showed up to my door. If I was minding my own business, putting in work, right? This is United States of America. Your boy is in Maui, Hawaii. If I was putting in work, right? Every single day, Monday through Sunday, right? Why would I have the feds, the police, show up at my door? So if I was working Monday through Sunday, right? Every single day, and I'm just trying to eat, trying to drink water, and trying to use the restroom, especially if I have health issues, why would the police show up at my door without my money if I was putting work in? So if I was putting work in, why would you not pay me, allow me to drink water, use the restroom, and then have the police show up at my door? So there's a restraining order that happened. So I'm a business professional putting in work. How would I get a restraining order on me, right? Not get paid if I put in work. So if I put in work, right, and I went to work Monday through Sunday, 9 to 5, or even overtime, right? Martin Luther King Day. Why would the police show up at my door to say not to pay him? So he wrote the song Pay Me. This is illegal, and by default, that's a flag on the play. That's out of bounds and out of line. To then what? Do we have to take a look at the name? Everybody's saying, like, Jay, what's going on? Bro, I put in work 24/7, professionalism across the globe with different corporations, right? This is me minding my own business, city popping, stacking, right? This is me being peaceful, minding my own business. I'm just trying to shine. If I'm just paying my rent, staying alone, right? And I'm going to work, why would you send me a restraining order with 4 police, right? Instead of bring a bag of cash to my doorstep. This is the police I'm talking about, the feds. This is real news, bro. They showed a piece of paperwork while wearing body cameras with said such individuals. If you go to my Facebook right now, right? If you go to my Facebook page, you can see all of these individuals in real life, bro. But some of them been trying to change their names. But if I'm putting in work 24/7, right? Coconut Kingdom family, established 2014. What year is it? It's 2026, bro. If I've been putting in work for the Coconut Kingdom family, 2014, 2026, working for Verizon, different corporations, Office Max, working for who else? University of Hawaii College, also going to school there, right? Also having Coconut Kingdom family at the Queen Kahumanu Mall, right? Also selling jewelry. A lot of people are discussing this on my page right now, like, Jay, what's going on? Bro, imagine I went to work, right? You never pay me, but then I also paid everybody there. This is me minding my own business. Imagine I was paying you right? And I'm at work and you never pay me, and that's out of kindness. So you didn't pay me. I actually let you borrow money at work. And then the feds, the police, right? Different names on the paper say that I cannot then get my money from work or my money from the person I let borrow at work. No, this is not real life, bro. In real life, you know what you do? You have loyalty and respect. If you go to work, you get paid, especially if you work on Martin Luther King Day, right? If you put in overtime in Martin Luther King Day, you get paid, especially if you then let your boss borrow money. So if you go to work, right, and today's the day for your paycheck, right, a beautiful day, and you work OT, you also say, hey, boss, here, yeah, you can borrow this, and I get my paycheck next week. You wouldn't have the police say now you cannot go to work and you cannot get paid your regular check or have the person pay you back. That's illegal. That means what? All of the federal police, all the Hawaii State Police that showed up at my door, right? More than four of them trying to arrest me. People are saying, Jay, what's the problem? What you mean, what's the problem? I've been putting in more OT work by myself, minding my own business on the field, bro. Imagine you in the gym shooting by yourself, right? You in the gym shooting by yourself. You paid for the gym to go in there by yourself. And now for no odd reason, you cannot be in the gym that you bought, bro. What you mean I cannot go to work and then you cannot pay me? And then the police, right? How the police about to hold you back from your paycheck? Oh, this is me working on Wall Street. Stock options through the roof, bro. Shares. You're not about to imagine your girl owe you money, right? So imagine you not only working for all of these corporations, you not only working and have shares in all of these corporations, right? You not only work with the Coconut Kingdom family, you also work with different community members at different times, right? This is almost like a consultant. So if you did this much work, even at the what University of Hawaii College, White and Green, especially if you performed across the globe in different business ways, one of the biggest YouTube channels, you wouldn't have torturous interference when receiving your financial stability and the money they already owe you, especially when you wrote the song Pay Me. So imagine at work, right? You're at work and Friday they're supposed to pay you. Now they say, no, you don't get your paycheck and the police about to go to your house. Huh. How does work feel then? Especially if you worked with all of those companies, you're younger than all of the people, especially younger than the police. Oh, imagine if the police actually knew you, right? Imagine if the police are then all around acting like they're friendly with other people, but they're just holding you back from your paycheck. So how is this much people about to try to arrest me for no reason? And I'm selling jewelry, I'm selling diamonds, I'm working for Verizon, I'm working at University of Hawaii Maui College, I'm attending that, I'm doing shows across the globe, I'm working at Office Depot and Office Max, I'm working at Queen Kaumanu with Coconut Kingdom family. How they about to show up to my doorstep and say, no, we cannot pay you? You want to know what kind of name is on that? Wait, maybe I should keep my glove on for this one since it's Martin Luther King Day, so I could just pick it up just in case like somebody else's hands is really on this. Because I wouldn't go to work every single day and then not get paid and then try to have the police that's already work more than me, right? It's the feds. It's called the federal police. It's called the government, bro. They wouldn't then say, this is somebody with health issues. So I don't like to go up in tone. I like to be chill. But sometimes you gotta what? Portray your message. You gotta get your message across. This is not you getting out of line, going out of bounds, trying to yell at the coach, trying to. Oh, imagine I went to work, right? And I paid you the money. And then you told me I cannot get my paycheck this week. I'd be like, that kind of sucks, right? Because if you go to work, you kind of want your paycheck, especially if you was like to the boss, like, oh, that's okay, just take 50 for now, bro. I'm about to get my paycheck anyway, right? Because that the boss has nothing to do with your paycheck, right? So imagine you threw your boss $1,000, right? Because they're, I don't know, struggling, maybe going homeless, but you know you still get your paycheck. Be like, yo, okay, so my paycheck is late. I just let you have $1,000, right? That's all on me. But the paycheck being late, that's not supposed to happen. And me giving you that $1,000 is loyalty and respect. Because you're the boss. You come from more than me, right? So if in good favor I throw you the alley oop, the Hail Mary down the field, right? In good faith. That means I just let you have 1,000, and then next week when it hit Friday, you just told me I cannot get my paycheck. I might be kind of cool still with you, right? Maybe I knew you. Maybe it's an R&B girl. I might shake your hand and be like, dang, so I gotta wait till tomorrow or the next day. Then they're about to be like, yeah. Imagine then they send the police to you. You was the one supposed to get your check. You're the one supposed to get that $1,000 back because that's the boss. And you're the one that's supposed to be like, okay, I'm kind of mad, but no other way in history would the police go to me instead of not getting me my paycheck at my door, right? If I didn't get my paycheck and that person owed me $1,000, the police would come to my door with $1,000 plus the paycheck and maybe tax on top of that. They wouldn't come to my door with a restraining order, right? It's a restraining order from the boss. They wouldn't give you a restraining order to say that you're not about to get your paycheck on Friday and that you're not about to get that 1,000 that you just threw up to them and you already know you sent it to their bank, right? They will go straight to your doorstep and they will give you the money in cash and they will shake your hand and be loyalty and respectful. So this says, right? What does this say, bro? It said a lot of different names across the paperwork. It says that if I went to work, right, I would have to wait till 2029 to get paid. You know how illegal this is to get that in 2025? No, it was probably 2023, 2024. That if you let the boss borrow that 1,000 and they say you're supposed to get paid on Friday, then they say you're not getting paid until 2029. And these people showed up at my door. We had one of the people named Alex. We had, who knows this person named Alex, bro, show up at my door. And this is different things. right? This is against. So I imagine now I'm with a girl, right? That's supposed to come back to my house. Imagine she's actually the boss, right? So imagine you're not doing business with a corporation, or you're doing business at home, or you're learning to work. So imagine then your wife owes you some money, or your good friend owes you money. Then they say you cannot get that money until 2029. So say you work from 2016, right? Imagine you went to work in 2016 with the girl you knew. And then they say you cannot get paid until 2029. And they put it in court documents with names of all of the individuals, even on body cameras. So imagine Roger that 10-4 on body cameras in front of my face with enough proof, right? That shows that I would have a restraining order not to get paid from my friend or my job from 2016 to 2029. You know how crazy that is to not have that $1,000 I lent to the boss, right? Especially if you kind of listed what it was for. So imagine you kind of knew accounting. Imagine you didn't really know accounting, but you kind of knew. And you said, this is for this help to your boss. And then you're supposed to get paid on Friday from 2016, right? So imagine it's 2016. You helped your boss, it says for this, and you show up to work, and then they say, no, you cannot get your paycheck until 2029. But the police say that, and they don't know what they're talking about. They're just saying, like, yup, I need 4 people over here with body cameras to one of the biggest musicians in the world and business professionals. So I not only worked with all of these corporations and had held shares within these corporations, right? So this is how much business work I would have to say that I've done to understand that if I went to work in 2016, and this is not funny. Oh, this is Martin Luther King Day where I've been rocking with the Winners Club, bro. They would definitely have that person walk to the front of your door, right? They would probably have the boss that lent you the money that you gave the money to in 2016, right? So if you was about to start work, or if you had a friendship and you say, here, this is for this for your utilities, this for your heating, this for your, I don't know, your clothes to stay fresh and fly. Imagine you listed the accounting to that, right? And then you working with all of these corporations. But then the feds say you cannot get paid until 2029. It's absolutely false, bro. The whole entire Federal Reserve, the federale, the president, the Hawaii state government would owe me billions of dollars and actually do. This is without hassle. This is somebody with health issues that would work with all of these corporations and would never get told from 2016 to 2029 that they have a restraining order on them in different ways. So if this person happens to be a photographer, right, as well, or a musician, and also paid the person, paid the boss, took their pictures, right? And also like gave them music, and they supposed to still pay you on Friday, but the police say not until 2029. And the people and the police are running around my house, which is apartments, If I say apartments, bro, apartments are a lot of the time more expensive than houses. For the people in the back that don't understand this, apartments are more expensive than houses a lot of the time. So if I say you're running around behind my house, that still means you're running around behind my apartments. This would have fingerprints of all the people on this. This is why I have a glove. This is why it's Martin Luther King Day. So imagine you were with the boss and now they vanish. What has been going on? Sex trafficking. It's not funny. Just because somebody else lost their kids or something or didn't want to help pay for their kids, the police cannot show up at my door and then not have your girlfriend, your wife, your friend show up with the money they're supposed to pay you and then say you gotta wait until 2029. You were just on an airplane with them. If I was just on an airplane with them, working from before 2016, knowing that paychecks go every 2 weeks, or depending on how you work or use Cash App or different financial institutions, right? You can get paid in different ways, especially Coconut Kingdom family. But you would not be able to torturous interfere somebody if somebody was supposed to arrive at my house after I was just in the airport with them and the security was on them at the airport. That money would be delivered directly and it would be with compounded interest. It wouldn't tell me from 2016 I need to wait till 2029. The entire state, the federal government, the president all owe me real money. And that was with me minding my own business. City popping. That means I was staying out the way. That means you wasn't with me shooting in the gym for real life when I was balling. That means everybody in real life that I balled against on the courts, basketball courts, then they tried to take it to paperwork courts. And he went one-on-one with all of them, bro. That means even in court, right? Every individual that's on my Facebook that tortures, interfere, these such entities and the person bringing back my money, bro, billions of dollars you owe me. And just because I'm the one having to say this doesn't then mean have a ego, act bougie, or act like he did something to you. No, this is a person that would have been working from 2016 to 2029 without seeing any paychecks. That's called slavery. Especially if the girl, right, that you're in a relationship, it could be your wife. Imagine now they've been calling it sex trafficking, like the star Aaliyah, right? If you were just on the airplane with them, producing them, and working through all of these corporations, you wouldn't have all of these individuals at these corporations, the Hawaii State Police, the Maui State Police, even above that, upper level government trying to torture, interfere somebody who only weigh He's trying to gain weight right now. He's minding his own business on the field trying to survive. He's retired already. Imagine now if you're retired and now you are trying to get by, right? You're trying to get by, you're retired, you're trying to take care of your mom, and you was working from that long. They don't allow you to drink water, right? That's the same thing of not allowing you to get paid. How you about to buy water or pay your water bill if they're not allowing to get you paid from 2016 to 2029? They owe you billions of dollars. So yes, Josh Ford versus the federal government, the state of Hawaii versus the Maui Police Department that have always tried to arrest me for no reason while attending college and working for all of these entities and then trying to place restraining orders on me for no reason, just minding my own business, paying my rent, and helping my mom drink water, me survive if I'm retired, and use the restroom and mind my own business in public. This is what was sent to my door for all the people who are wondering what was going on in real life and on Facebook. The federal government, the state government, including the people who trafficked the girl who was supposed to come back with me. There was one girl that was on the airplane that was supposed to come back with me. If that didn't happen and you torturers interfere somebody who's literally business corporated with the actual government, but you're the police and the federal government trying to block him from doing business and to learn. He's younger than you. So why wouldn't you just be paying him to learn and not try to restrict him? You guys already deported my dad. Then you tried to stop me from getting funding. Then my girl disappeared after I was in the airport with her on the airplane, all on cameras, to then show up in front of my doorstep with footage on body cams, right? 4 of them, after they already been trying to arrest me for no reason, just hustling, working. I was on the news for working so much. And now from 2016 to 2029, I hardly got paid, right? As financial tortures interference, losing a lot of money. I'm minding my own business, right? Enough to be educated enough to break this down, to know that there's a lot of these people on my Facebook, their real names, for me to be cool, calm, and collected still, trying to take care of my health if I'm on the bench and retired, minding my own business, to not then have restraining orders show up at my doorstep if I was in a relationship with one of the girls, right? If I had a relationship with a girl and I was just in the airport with her in front of cameras, the police wouldn't send me a restraining order that I cannot see the person or I cannot get paid too. Imagine that. You guys owe me billions of dollars, if not a lot of millions. That's the entire Hawaii, right? That's the state. That's federal. That's different branches. This is called real life. That's why we had to jump on and say it today. And all of the evidence is right here and on Facebook. And the person that was supposed to show up never showed up. But the police showed up at my door with no money, putting a restraining order on my money, not having my girlfriend, right, show up, who was invited to, and then also having me on cameras throughout the city illegally without actually funding me. So, was this part of different forms of government due to a political switch, even though everybody knows me, even from being on the news and different colleges? If you're not showing back up at my door with loyalty and respect, this will continue to go down the circuit until I get all my financial stability for the rest of my life. Somebody who is retired dealing with health issues, minding their own business, would not have somebody go missing, would not get paychecks on a regular basis, and would not get a restraining order from the police especially without the person showing up, your money and your paycheck showing up, with you being retired, then them not showing loyalty by bringing all that money back that they already owe you, right, from working, especially if the dates were stated from 2016. You knew this person, so you wouldn't be able to then block them or restrain them from them coming back to my front door, especially without you not being in good faith, right? Four people trying to detain one, always trying to arrest me for nothing at all, for doing more business at a younger age than most individuals. One person that was in the feds, the police, was named Alex. Why was Alex and three other policemen brought to my door saying that it was for protection? Why would I need protection out of nowhere, but not my paycheck, not being able to drink water, not being able to be retired and take care of my parents, not being able to then see the person I was just on the airplane with when I knew them from 2026 to continuously now, while my Instagram and different communication sources are then broken. So my Instagram is broken. I don't longer get paid from Instagram, and they continue to block paychecks. This will go to the federal government and you would owe me billions of dollars. This is why I break this down, and this has been happening to a lot of people. They call it sex trafficking. They be saying it's somebody, this one Epstein list or that. They be saying this person or that person, and it's not funny because people who know that. Bro, I played ball since what? Elementary school, intermediate, high school, even after college, bro. He was still playing ball. That means he would have played ball against any of these people to mind his own business, to never go down to that. So he would never get it even on certain days to try to make fun or try to not make fun. All payments would be sent to Joshua Elijah Ford versus the federal government and the state of Hawaii, and I would no longer have to work again after being retired, and I would be rich forever, and this would be considered paying him billions of dollars for tortuously interfering even the businesses he has. Not only Joshua Elijah Ford, but World Music Innovations, Coconut Kingdom Family, the Winners Club, World Media Innovations, and said such other businesses that I do have that I may not remember currently, just due to the amount of work, even on Wall Street, that I have already done. If I've made $10,000 in a day before, or a rough estimate, right? I would never have the police try to then hold back my money, or people who have to return my paychecks to my house after I'm already retired and what, taking care of my health, especially if I almost passed away already. This is not dramatic, and this has all the evidence, right? All the evidence is on Facebook on why you have to pay me, and I'm still waiting for my funds to be received. Not only delivered to my door in cash, but also to my Cash App, and having the person who went missing after I was on an airplane with them, right? Rica Salvador would be able to walk directly to my doorstep, especially if I was working from before 2016 to 2029, but then have the police say that I cannot do my form of work, which might be photography, it might be music, it might be consulting, right? It might have been with different corporations on Wall Street, or even working with them at the different malls, working with them at colleges, or even doing different other businesses. Never in history would I ever have a torturous interference against somebody who's already retired to not be able to make more money from 2016 to 2029? This is why that's on my Facebook page. Because even though I'm still maintaining, right, gotta keep balling and still city popping, anybody, if that was your what, your grandparents or anybody that had to not have your family or anybody pay them, and the police more than four show up at their door if your grandparents are retired and then they separate them, nah, they would be pulling up with cash, with money. The feds, the government wouldn't separate them and pull them apart if they already deported your dad when you were younger. This is why this is a subject that's on Facebook. And it would be Joshua Elijah Ford versus the entire federal government, put the president on there, and then go down the line of command all the way to Hawaii State to Maui State. Nobody would what? Tortuously interfere me minding my own business. If there was a what? Line of scrimmage, you wouldn't go to the smallest player, tackle them beforehand, put them on the ground, and then have the cops arrest them and then say that it's good on camera. I've been balling for too long, and that's not what we're doing in the city right now. For me to put up that much points across the globe with different countries. So, Hawaii, Maui, and the United States federal government owe me billions of dollars. He could continue to go down the list of accounts and offenses. Trafficking, deportation, torturously interfering, already being retired and then continuously torturous interfering. Not only somebody who worked professionally, but then started their own businesses with the United States government, protected, right? More than three since established 2014, even if what you had to use paperwork to show that. So somebody that's working this much, even paying taxes, wouldn't have people that what are supported by taxpayers' dollars try to put a restraining order on me if I was a photographer, if I was producing music. It's as if your grandparents were retired, bro. This is why that's an important subject on my Facebook, and it's all real life. That's why I wrote Real One, and I know who is who in the city. That's why I know one of the names of the officers was Alex, that showed up to my doorstep with four others. And before that, I had to talk to the chief of police, and they had to take photos of me to remember how much they gotta pay me if they tried to arrest me and I was only doing business. So if somebody came up off of $0, you wouldn't be able to behave this way by them minding their own business. So imagine they came off with $0 and were still learning, younger than you guys, but was able to retire, sit on the bench, like LeBron or Curry or whatever. Imagine they retire next year. Then they say they cannot get their paycheck. Then the feds pull up. Then they say they cannot see their wife or their girlfriend. And then they say that they cannot take care of like their parents. Never in history would that happen. You would see me as the president and you would be paying me for a lifetime, enough to do anything across the globe. That's the world.